Yes, okay, I think we can now move on to the forum and introduce our first speaker, the lovely and loquacious Baker MLA Maylands.
And my offsider, Dave. I'm just about to, please forgive me, I hope this doesn't offend anyone, no animals have been harmed in the making of this commercial. But I wanted to start because tonight, hello everybody by the way. I wanted to start tonight by playing you this because I was asked that this is about advocacy and how we work together and what the needs are and can you actually make a difference. So this was my starting point and I think it's pretty clear to start. So press Dave, off you go.
This man right here is my great-grandfather. He's the first cat herder in our family. Herding cats.
Anybody can herd cattle. Holding together 10,000 half-wild short hairs. Well, that's another thing altogether.
Being a cat herder is probably about the toughest thing I think I've ever done.
I got this one this morning, right here. And if you look at his face, it just ripped to shreds, you know?
You see the movies, you hear the stories. I'm living a dream.
I wouldn't do nothing else.
It ain't an easy job, but when you bring a herd into town and you ain't lost to one of them, ain't feeling like it's the world.
I love that commercial. I just love that commercial. Ignore the fact that it's from a technology company and it's American, but when it was first played to me, I just laughed like you guys did. As far as I'm concerned, that message is the most strong message that I think I can leave you with tonight. I've got something else to play you at the end, which I think is fabulous. But I wanted to start by saying that in my journey over the last 5 years, I've had to work really hard at finding out how to bring people together on this issue. And from a political perspective, it's been a great challenge. It's been a great challenge not only with my own party, but across the divides of political parties. I'm not going to talk too much about politics tonight, but I am going to show you what my journey, how I've tried to map out what my contribution will be to this incredibly important agenda. So bear with me while I work you through just my journey. You've seen herding cats. When I first started to talk to many of the people in this room tonight, who are now, I count as my dear friends, about what the hell I was going to do to contribute to the debate around animal welfare, I never actually dreamt that I was going to pull this one off. But every political party has a party platform, as you're well aware. The Labor Party has one, and it was last upgraded in 2008. So at the conference in 2010, I put a new policy platform to all the delegates. There are about 400 delegates meet at the, I think it was at Belmont Racecourse actually, on an off day. And I put this platform to them. I'm going to rush through it pretty quickly. I'm not going to go through it in detail, but basically it is a different way of the Labor Party looking at animal welfare. I never dreamt that I was going to get it through. I really didn't. Because the last slide I'll show you was about love export. I didn't think I was going to get it through, but my party amazed me, and they all voted unanimously to agree to a new platform. I won't bore you with the detail of what's in it. You can have a quick read of some of those pages. Animal welfare means how an animal is coping with conditions in which it lives, growing public concern about the practices being used, current legal frameworks to protect animals, rely on legal remedies, not prevention, etc., etc., etc. The things that I got Labor to commit to do as a party was
working with stakeholders to develop an animal welfare strategy for our state, because we don't have one. Review and introduce amendments to strengthen the Animal Welfare Act. I won't go through them all. The bottom one there is provide appropriate interventions for children being cruel to animals, because we all know about the language around cruelty connection and what happens when children learn those kind of behaviours and not compassion. And most importantly, to establish an independent office or commission on animal welfare outside of where Barnett has put it in the Department of Agriculture. The live export one was particularly challenged, but I got it through, and with the help of my friends in the Labor Party, we've made a number of commitments to end live export. You won't hear the party going on about that too loudly, in terms of we're going to, stop live export tomorrow, because clearly there are political agendas which mean we don't talk about it like that. We talk about it in terms of the jobs, we talk about it in terms of the economics of the state, we talk about it in terms of making sure that farmers are transitioned away and into a different industry base which is sustainable for the future. That's the language of the Labor Party, so that's what you'll hear my colleagues talking about. After that platform was accepted, I then constructed this little creature, a discussion paper on strengthening animal welfare. It took me about another year, so it's about 12 months in the work, and I put that to our party, and we put it out around Western Australia. Many of you in this room sent submissions back in response to this, and I just wanted to touch on a few of the key... thank you, Alex. I just have to say thank you, Alex, because of her houndstooth pictures, of course, as if you couldn't tell. They were just gorgeous. Part of my journey in putting this paper together, the front page actually had the most fantastic picture that Alex has of a little lamb on it. Couldn't get the party to accept having a little lamb on the front page. It's right now, it was a puppy, but no. Anyway, they're the kind of journeys that we all have to go on. In this document, which has about 30 pages in it, it talks about a range of different strategies that I think Western Australia needs to do in order to strengthen the way we work with animals and protect them more effectively. I hope that some of you have read it. If you haven't, there's some front covers and just a list of recommendations out there. I would genuinely ask you to respond in writing, by email, or any way you can, if you either support it or hate it, because that's the kind of fodder that I need to be able to take this agenda forward within the Labor Party, and one day we will get elected again in WA. Sneaky confident. The key recommendations in my paper, you've heard them, they're similar to carrying through from the platform. It's about the administration, independent administration of animal welfare. It's about the strategy, it's about reviewing the Act, and it's about helping industry transition away from live export. Having said those things, it might all sound a bit dry, but it has been an absolute roller coaster my first 5 years. So I was elected again in March, and the first thing to come on the agenda, as Jen and others here know, is the amendments to the Dog Act, which are in themselves quite hysterical because of the debates going on around Australia with dog attacks and the like, and some of the misinformation that goes out. My focus in the Parliament, whenever I can, is to raise issues around animal welfare and to try and get my colleagues to take this seriously. The stories that they don't understand is that the RSPCA is probably the biggest membership-based organisation of any incorporated association in Australia. That's a major political fact that they need to understand. There are more people who join the RSPCA than any other organisation when you're talking about a charity of any kind. That is a really important thing for my colleagues to remember. When we talk about this, we are talking about an issue which resonates with many, many people, including with farmers. Their income relies on having animals, and their future income relies on responding to the more sharpened consumer awareness of the welfare
and well-being of animals. And so to continue to practice what they do in this marketplace, they're going to have to change their behaviours. They're going to have to change their practices. Slowly, I think our farming industry is understanding that, but part of my job is to try and find ways of making sure that that hurries up a bit. I don't know how old I'll be before I finally get there, but you know. Very good, very good. The sorts of issues that I think the sector, and I call the sector everyone in animal welfare. At the beginning of my presentation, I talked about herding cats. My observation about this industry, you have to put it in my context. I've worked all over the world for the UN and the like in social justice with people in very diverse, very disparate organisations. But when you have to lobby for an issue in order to get attention and to get the credibility and to get change occurring, you have to find a way to come together and agree on certain bottom lines. So my observation of 5 years of working around and within some of the animal welfare organisations is they find it very hard to do that. Very hard to do that. And I'll give you a little example. Just before the state election, I had contacted a handful of organisations that I've had experience with and asked them if they would come together and just put a platform forward to all political parties that says these are the 3 things that these 6 big animal welfare agencies agree are the most important priorities, that if your party does them, we'll be really happy. Things were going swimmingly well. A wonderful young woman started to do the planning. I managed to get a volunteer marketing expert, one of the top people in Perth, to do the planning for them, to workshop the ideas, to get them all together. From the day they met and agreed to 4 priorities to take forward to campaign on into the state election, the 4 weeks that followed, they all went. Some of them saying, oh no, we can't talk about live export because that'll, piss off these people, and we can't talk about, animals as food, or we can't talk about this or whatever. People could not hold the line. And the one thing about advocacy, whether you're doing it for heart patients or elderly people or children or animals, is disunity is death. Just ask the Labour Party federally. So, there was no joint platform. Yeah, sure, the RSPCA put something up and wrote us all letters, and we all, said that we were going to do all this stuff, and it was fabulous. But it wasn't a joint effort. If you brought all of those agencies together with all of the people they represented, you could have really kicked some ass. Didn't happen. Missed opportunity. Have to wait 4 more years for the state election to come around again. And so now we're left with, again, as I say, animal welfare being monitored out of the bloody Department of Agriculture and Food. Their mission statement says their job is to maximise profitability of the agri-sector, agribusiness. And it should be. That's what their job should be. Not caring for animals, because it's not their mandate. They don't know how to do it. It's totally in conflict with everything they do to maximise the economics of profit and profitability of agribusiness. We have to wait 4 years to stop that now. And I think that was a very sad missed opportunity. So my message to you tonight is my observation from a lot of work in consultation in different agencies around the world is unity is everything. A shared voice is the most important thing you can work on together to develop in the lead up to the federal election, or we haven't got much time now, but the state elections certainly. If we as a sector, as the animal welfare sector, can come together with just 3 key messages, these are the things we'll die in a ditch over, we've got a chance. But we can't while we're running in different directions. I'm going to finish with this. It's a commercial again, sorry, but they're so good. I'm going to finish with this. And I do apologise that I'm having to leave and let you enjoy the company of some fantastic people this afternoon or this evening. And I'm very proud and very privileged to be able to stand here tonight with Perth Advocates for the Earth and the Barristers Animal Welfare Group, and be able to talk to you a bit about my personal journey, what I've been through, and to tell you a little bit of the message that I've learned that I think would do a lot to help strengthen animal advocacy in WA. Let me leave this with you. Will I press Dave?
Feedback to your strengthening animal welfare paper. Is that feedback back to your own email address?
Yeah. You can just Google my name and find out I've got a website.
Yep.
Just send it straight back there. Don't be shy.
Yep.
Just email me straight away. That's fine. And please, that would be really fantastic.